Hey, welcome back to Album April. It's April 5th, and today I listened to Blue by Joni Mitchell. Joni Mitchell is an artist I have next to no experience with. I know one song from her, Big Yellow Taxi, and I didn't even know she was the one who made it until I looked it up today. So you might be wondering why one of her albums is even on the docket at all, and I'll tell you why. It is all the way up at number 3 on Rolling Stone's Best Albums list. Higher up than the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, Prince, Radiohead, Pink Floyd, the Rolling Stones, Aretha Franklin, any of them. So I was very curious to listen to this album. By the way, this is the third album so far that was from 1971. Apparently, that was a very good year for albums. The first question is, what was my first impression of this album? My first impression was that this album is not for me. Joni Mitchell wrote and produced this entire album by herself. And while I can acknowledge she's a very talented vocalist and instrumentalist, her songwriting is not something I'm used to. A lot of these don't really feel like songs, they feel like stories. She just says so many words so fast. And I am not the target audience for that kind of music. I have mixed feelings on this album because I did not care for the first half of it at all, but there are a lot of really good moments on the second half of the album. There definitely was an effort to sort of make these songs like cohesive and like connect to each other. The word blue is in I think all of them, but like an overall lyrical theme doesn't really seem to kick in until the end. My favorite song from Blue was River. I also liked This Flight Tonight, but River was a very poignant, emotionally impactful song. It kind of qualifies as Christmas music because it begins and ends with the riff from Jingle Bells, and it's about something happening around Christmas that's mentioned, but it's mostly a breakup song and it's very somber. That was one of the songs where it was really easy to grasp the emotion. And I'll repeat myself, Joni Mitchell is a very good singer, and that really comes through in this song. Then there was the question of, were there any songs that I didn't like? And yes, there were actually quite a few. I didn't like any of the first 4 songs, and I didn't really like the album closer, The Last Time I Saw Richard. But there's the run of Blue, California, This Flight Tonight, River, and A Case of You, which were all songs that I enjoyed. This album is kind of hit or miss for me, like straight 50-50 split of hit and miss. And lastly, the question of, do I think that this album still holds up? Please don't hate me, but if I had to answer, I would say no. Maybe the thing is I don't get it more than I don't like it, but I've already said this is not the type of album for me. I got the Carpenters vibe from a lot of this album, a very wholesome, organic sort of 70s pop, but I just didn't care for a lot of it. Evidently, there are a lot of people who would disagree with me, but that's fine. If you're interested, maybe check out River, but overall, this was not the album for me. I'll see you guys tomorrow.